welcome back to the program. It is now time for the great debate. As I discussed in my opener, pornography has proliferated through our society at a rate that is almost incomprehensible. The average age of first exposure is 11, meaning half of kids are seeing it even younger than that. A recent Australian study found that for 15 to 29-year-olds, 39% of men and 19% of women watched pornography daily in the last 12 months. What does this do to women, to men, to our relationships? And is it good for our society? Joining me now to debate this issue is adult content creator Belinda Gavin and anti-porn activist and author Melinda Tankard Reist. Belinda, let's start with you. How did you get into the sex industry?
It started in Los Angeles. I lived in Los Angeles for the best part of 20 years as an actress. And during that time, I was approached to do some erotic movies. Now, for me, I didn't have a problem with being nude. And I was acting. So it was absolutely a dream come true. I got to travel around. I was on set and I was being an actress. I then maneuvered through the industry and actually started working in full porn, so XXX rated, and OnlyFans popped up. Cut to, after COVID and OnlyFans becoming bigger, the word porn and being a porn star kind of, it wasn't as bad as it used to be because it started to become, I guess, more accepted.
Melinda, you do a lot of work in this sort of anti-pornography space, shining a light on some of the dark sides of the industry. What do you say to Belinda's story? Is that a common path into porn? And what are the risks involved in seeing pornography become so mainstreamed?
Yeah, we've certainly seen the normalisation and the glamorisation and the embedding of the sex industry, including now on TikTok, which has 200,000 young people there and 62% under the age of 16. So certainly there has been a massive transformation and embedding a normalisation of the industry, teaching young women that it's an aspiration, it's an aspirational goal to commodify your body, to sell porn, to become a content creator on OnlyFans. We are seeing this on TikTok. I've been studying the TikTok to OnlyFans pipeline, but unfortunately, a lot of young women aren't given a true picture of what might happen to them there. So they're groomed to be sellers. Boys are groomed to be consumers. And OnlyFans has been implicated in non-consensual image sharing, in sharing rape videos, images shared without consent. Reuters did a big investigation last year and found minors were being sold on the platform, child sexual exploitation material sold on the platform. So often a lot of young women see wealth and fame and riches and popularity and exotic holidays normalized on the social media platforms, which they're required to have. That's what OnlyFans requires. And interestingly, TikTok has a terms and conditions against sexual solicitation, but this is exactly what is going on through refer a friend programs, through recruitment agencies which recruit girls from their social media accounts. I met a recruiter who did this and described herself as a predator and a pimp, but don't often know the dark side, don't often know about stalking, the leaking of their images, and particularly the more debased and degraded acts that they will be expected to do. For example, the Bop House combined following 33 million barely legal content, and the girls that look the youngest, the most childified, make the most money because that's the demand. That's what men want. That's why the barely legal genre is so popular. And, tragically, so many girls are getting a false idea and they say things like, well, I don't need to get another job. I don't need to finish school. I don't need to finish a university. But they don't often understand the truth of where they might end up and what they'll have to do in a very, very competitive market.
Belinda, does this worry you at all that you are participating in an industry where there is so much exploitation of women? And I guess now, as pornography in a sense has been democratized with OnlyFans, anyone can be in the sex industry now. Are you worried that young girls are now looking at this and thinking that sex work could be a good life for them? It's become aspirational. Does that concern you?
It is of concern, but I think, and Melinda's right with everything that she said, you know what I mean? There has been lots of things that have happened within the platforms. Nowadays, there's a lot more rules and regulations. I think for young women out there, what is important is to know what you're getting into. You have to understand that once you cross this line, that's it. It's going to be there. Some people, I'm very face out. I'm very outspoken about the industry, obviously. But I knew that, I knew that coming into this and I understood it. I think, yes, some girls are unfortunately jumping in because they see, there's a lot of girls that do very well now. And you don't have to actually do X-rated stuff on OnlyFans either. There's still a lot of girls that make a lot of money not doing X-rated stuff. The beauty of OnlyFans, though, is that now it's not a studio and the creator is in charge of what they want to do. And that's what I think is the best thing about OnlyFans. I speak to a lot of young girls and obviously deal with a lot of creators, and knowing, what you're getting into and choosing your boundaries. You don't have to go all the way. You don't have to be a Bonnie Blue. You don't have to be an Annie Knight. This is entertainment, just like any other movies. It's entertainment. It's not education. It is entertaining people. And that's what is in the hands of the creator now. So I can choose what kind of content I want to put out there.
Well, I guess my personal perspective would be it's not just entertainment when it involves sex and nudity. It is far more serious than that. But I want to ask Melinda a question. What do you think this is doing to relationships between men and women when you see exposure to pornography at such a young age, 11 years old? What's that doing to girls and boys as they grow up?
Yes, I'd just like to comment on a couple of things Belinda said, and then I'll answer that question. So the average income is $125 a month. So girls think that they might end up as millionaires. That's very, very rare. 1% of women in the industry make those high figures. And we need to look at what they have to do to make that kind of money. For example, incest-related content, childified, acting like a child, a huge demand for that kind of content. In terms of what young people are learning, I've interviewed so many girls that say that boys want to choke them, boys want to strangle them, boys expect them to do the sex acts that the boys have seen in porn. We need to remember that the most popular genres of porn are the most violent. I have more young women now saying to me they don't even want to date anymore because so many men are porn sick. They've got rotted brains. They've just glutted so much on porn. They don't know how to have a normal, healthy, respectful, intimate relationship. We're seeing in Australia now a rise of child-on-child sexual assault at levels never before seen. The ABS data shows that adolescent boys 14 to 19 are now not only committing the highest rates of sexual offences against women and girls, they are committing the highest rates of sexual offences against children. This has not been seen before. You can find that research in the International Journal of Child Abuse and Neglect, and any authority in the field is now identifying exposure to pornography, to violent pornography as fueling attitudes which drive violence against women. We cannot address the epidemic of violence against women if we don't address the role pornography has in shaping attitudes and behaviours towards real women and real girls. This isn't fantasy. This is happening in the real world.
Final thoughts on that, Belinda, before we go?
Education, I believe, is what will help us here. There is no sex education in the school. They have to rely on what they see. And of course, that's what they're, exposed to. And hopefully we could have some OnlyFans that is educational. That would be my dream, is to be able to have creators that are actually caring about, and it is called ethical porn. There's a lot of them out there. And there's a lot of people who are very, very passionate about bringing the sex industry into mainstream, but also teaching people about it.
Well, that's an interesting question. Could there be such thing as an ethical porn industry? Belinda Gavin and Melinda Tankard Reist, thank you so much for joining us this evening.